Morning everyone, it's Audrey, Stitchywitch42. Today is Monday the 16th of January 2023. It's a nice clear sky outside today. Blue skies, just a little bit of clouds. Cold, but it's January, so that's normal. Did I say this is my Floss tube, my channel about cross-stitch, life, the universe, and everything? You know, when you say that at the beginning of all your videos, you sometimes forget to say it. Or think that you've said it and you haven't, or you haven't and you say it 3 or 4 times. It's one of those days. Alrighty, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I have some cross stitch to share with you. I have some paper crafting stuff to share with you. And that's where I'm going to start, because in my world, they cross over. The first Thursday of every month is First Thursday Stitching up at Acorns and Threads. That was the 5th of January. And I showed pictures of these on my Instagram, but there is a lady who comes to that stitch group. Her name is Peggy. She doesn't live all that far from me. And she had asked me a while back if I wanted some of her grandmother's cards from the 1940s and the 1950s. And yes I would. So she brought them up this time. She had them on the pages that were in her grandmother's scrapbook. These great big pages. This paper is 80 years old and it's fragile, especially around the edge. I mean, it's just real easy to break. But the texture of this, did I say fabric? Paper. This paper it's fragile, but the center of it, oh, the texture of it is lovely and wonderful. And I went through and I pulled off the stack of cards that she had her grandmother had on these pages. Again, these cards are from the 1940s, the 1950s. But these are the ones where you open them up and they fold out to a great big sheet of paper. So not only do you have an image on the front, an image on the inside, trying to cover up any personal writing down there. Sometimes there's images on the back, and she wanted to know if I wanted to have these to use for my paper crafting. There are some like this one here. This is a cutout. I have to figure out just the right thing to use for that one. But there's little ones like this with another small image inside. And she gave me a stack of them and this paper. Thank you, Peggy. I don't know if you watched my video or not. Thank you very much. I had so much fun going through those and looking at them. They're just beautiful. They're just beautiful. And I've already used a couple of them. So, when I was up at First Thursday, I took along with me my Alphonse Mucha. I've decided that First Thursday is a great time for me to be working on it because for some reason, stitching it at home right now has just not been, it's not been calling to me. But because of the way my husband altered the stand, I can take it with me, I can set it up on the table, and I can sit there and stitch, and I have no problem doing all, oh my gosh, mine went blank, confetti stitches. I said it was that kind of day. Doing all the confetti stitches. So I am looking through the Ada, so I think I have this lined up. You can see everything on the screen, but I have been working on this area over here. When I get down to this part, I will be officially 50% done with her. I still love her. I still think she's gorgeous, but I'm done with her face. And I know me. When I get done with the face, it's like, I have to slog through the rest of it. But as I do it, I get into it, and she is gorgeous. This is the cover I made a couple of years ago to fit my floor stand. And all I did was I measured how wide my stretcher bars were, how much space between the top and bottom one, and then I sewed 2 pieces of fabric together with batting in there, and I put Velcro on it. So not only does it make a really nice simple cover, but I lay it out on the table and it designates my stitching space. Janine's got full-size folding tables up there for everybody to use, so usually 2 people could sit at a folding table. But Peggy gave me that stack of papers and those cards, and I kind of took up one whole table to myself. But yeah, those cards, oh, just gorgeous. All right, at First Thursday, there was only one thing that I was wanting to purchase at First Thursday. And I got it, but I'm not sure if it's what I want or not. And I'm kind of thinking no, because it's me. That was a start for me last year, and I really, really liked it on the orange fabric there. This is Nightmare Before Coffee, designed by Amy Baker of Barefoot Needle Art. It's in the 2021 Halloween special. And I didn't have a dark orange, so what I did is I started it on Eek. And this is where I got to. And I don't really like it because the yellow and gold is kind of blending too much into the background on this fabric. I had watched Mary, the Daydream Stitcher. She stitched it on a dark blue purpley fabric. And that's what I was looking for. What I found at Acorns and Threads is a fabric that I've used before called Okefenokee, crossed wing linen. I like this, but the more I look at it, I'm thinking it has too much green in it for this piece. So I need to hunt online, and I need to find something that is more blue, more purpley. I know Bestitch Me has a fabric called Cosmos. It's what I'm using on my Moon Charm. I might go back and purchase some more of that, but I know she's also a couple months out as far as getting orders shipped out, which is okay. I have plenty of things to stitch on. But that's kind of where I'm leaning, is maybe something like that, or might look at some other fabrics. Fabric by Stephanie. She always has good fabrics. If you don't mind, give me some ideas of where you get your hand-dyed fabrics at. Again, I'm looking for a dark blue to a purplishy color. So if you'd leave comments down below letting me know who you look to, maybe I can find something. Alrighty. So First Thursday was, it's always good. Get to sit up there, get to meet new people, get to talk with people that have been up there several times, get to go shopping at Acorns and Threads. We went over and had lunch at McMiniman's. Robyn LadyRobynS was there, her friend Lynn, and another lady who I had met through Zoom. Her name is Sheila. The four of us went over and had lunch together and had a really nice time chatting. Thoroughly enjoyed my day up there. Okay, looking at my list because, you know, lists, I need them. I've told you before that I am on Linda, aka Van Mom's Patreon, and she has a Zoom meetup the first or second Saturday of each month. Kind of clashes with my work schedule a little bit, but I've worked it out with people I work with, and I just get somebody to come in a half hour early. I can get here and miss just the very difficult. Words are difficult. I can miss just the very beginning of the Zoom. So this last Zoom that she had sent instructions out that we were supposed to have 5 pieces of 5-inch square fabric. Remember me telling you, oh, I don't know how many times, I can sew. I'm not a seamstress. You want me to go cut out 5 pieces of fabric that are all 5 inches square? I didn't. I didn't. So I come into this Zoom class, and part of what she was doing is she was talking people through hand sewing items together if they had not hand sewn before. So I just enjoyed the Zoom as a place to meet up with my friends that are there and see what was going on. I was working on something. I don't know what. I seriously don't know what. When Anna popped into the Zoom, and of course it had been going for an hour and a half, something like that, when Anna popped on. And they showed her what they were working on, and she goes, oh, I can use a 5-inch charm pack. Is that it? Not a seamstress. And that got me thinking. When I did the Halloween Advent exchange with Melanie, she didn't send this as part of the Advent, but she sent it to me later. It was a charm pack of 5-inch squares, all Halloween fabrics. And it's like, they're already cut out for me. So I said, well, why do you need 5 of them? And she goes, you need 1 for the back. And what we were doing is making these little mug rugs. So I made this one. That's 4 different 5-inch squares. And that's the 5th one. And then I made this one. And that's the back of that one. And it was so simple. I mean, the only sewing was around the edge. And these were so cute. So now I want to buy charm packs. so that I can make more of them. Because she's an enabler. Yeah. But I had fun making these. If you don't know who Linda is, go check her out on Instagram. She is AKA_van_mom. She is a multi-crafter. She lives over in Eastern Oregon, and I am thoroughly enjoying her Zoom meetups. Even if I don't necessarily follow along with the projects, I'm enjoying it a lot. So I had fun doing that. Had a new start. One of the things that I got from Melanie in the Advent Exchange was this project bag. Black Cats and Moons. That's my project inside there. I have had this Mill Hit kit for a couple of years now. I know I purchased it up at Acorns and Threads. If you've ever been in the shop at Acorns and Threads and you go to use the restroom, they have the walls covered with papers from Mill Hill packs showing all the different kits and series of Mill Hill kits that you can get. And if they don't have them out in the shop, Janine and the ladies are more than happy to order them for you. I had seen this one. It's a buttons and beads pack, and it's called Midnight Glow, and I purchased it a couple of years ago. Absolutely love this one. But of course, because this is supposed to be a Halloween piece, there are cobwebs on the candelabra, and there's spiders hanging down, and we know my opinion of spiders. I don't like them. I don't like them. So I was sitting there looking at this, and I decided that it would be easy enough to eliminate them from it, because while this is pretty much supposed to be a Halloween piece, I'm not stitching it for Halloween. I'm stitching it for Candlemas. Candlemas is February 2nd. It's also known as Groundhog Day, when that silly little rodent pops its head out and tries to figure out whether we have 6 more weeks of winter or not. We do. We always do. But I thought, without the cobwebs and the spiders, that this would be a nice piece to represent the light coming back in the year. So this is where I am at on this piece here. I did a center start on it. Now, I've talked about that before. When I do my Mill Hills, I actually draw a line on the back that goes from this corner to this corner, that corner to that corner. And I can still see the line right here showing that this is the center. This is where I should start. I could do 2 more stitches and hit the edge of the paper on this side. And over on this side, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more stitches before I hit the edge over there. Why it's off center like that, I don't know. For me, it's not going to make a difference because I'm not going to frame this. I have a plan for how I want to finish it. And I've been going through and I've been trying to do all the blocks of colors in here. I've got everything from this line down stitched. So you can see that there are spaces that have no stitches in there. That's where the beading will go. This morning I finished this edge, and again, all the empty spaces along that is where beads will go. I think this is gorgeous, and I am really hoping to have it finished before February 2nd so that I would have time to do my fully finish and have it ready for Candlemas. Now, if you followed me for any length of time, you know that I make floss books. And I use a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, hardboard, to make them. But I end up with scraps like this. And these scraps are perfect because I counted how many different colors of floss there were in this. I punched that many holes. I wrote down my DMC numbers on there because it is DMC. And this is how I have my thread put together whenever I work on a mill hill. Sometimes I do this with an envelope. When I'm done with my mill hill kit, this whole thing is going to go in the garbage. I know! It's shocking. But I'm not going to go back and try to find the DMC colors and put them back on the bobbins. I'm a bad crafter. I also don't make a working copy. I color my mill hill kits, the pattern on my mill hill kits, because this will get thrown away too. The only thing that I keep from the mill hill kits are the beads and the needles. I keep all the needles. Always keep the needles, especially the beading needles. Can't have enough of them. So, that was a new start. Talking about floss books. I finally got back into making some more of my floss books, and I posted some last week. I have two Instagram pages. I have Stitchywitch42 and I have Stitchywitch42 D-Stash. The D-Stash page is the one that I sell my floss books on. Generally what I do, my goal with them is I would like to post some for sale about every other week. I would like to post anywhere between 3 and 5 of them for sale when I do, because that way I don't overwhelm myself. And what I do, I don't know what it is about making videos, but I always have an air bubble at some point during the video. It's weird. What I do is I will take a picture of all the floss books that I have made. I will post it on my regular Stitchywitch42 page and say, these are what I'm going to be posting on my D-Stash page on Thursday. Thursday works as a great day for me to post them because I leave them up for sales. If somebody says me please and they can pay me within 24 hours, then the following Monday I can get them mailed out. So these were two of the ones that I had made and posted last week. They've both been sold. They've both been paid for. So there is this one, and then there is this one. That image right there is one of the images from the cards that Peggy's grandmother had in her scrapbook. So, and I thought this worked perfect with this paper behind it because it's an invitation to a party. And that to me looks like a party dress. So, after the video, I have to get those wrapped up. I have to get them sent off. This weekend, I've been working on some more, and I've made this one. My camera keeps doing weird things. You can't see it, but on the screen that I watch myself on, it keeps flipping me upside down. It's weird. But this one, this is a rose with gold all around it. And that's what I did on the inside of this one. These won't go up for sale this Thursday. It'll probably be the following Thursday because I'd like to get a couple more made. And then this one. I have all sorts of scrapbooking paper, and I come up here and I go through until I find something that grabs my attention. And I saw this one and absolutely loved it. I think this is just gorgeous. So that's the front and back covers of it. And these are the insides of them. And I like decorating the insides of them. I like to have a space in here where the person who purchases it, they could write their name on there. Or if they're gifting it to somebody, they can write it on there. I also hope, because everybody buys stickers to use in their book of days, you could add your own stickers or other embellishments inside them. It's just an idea. But anyway, those are two that will probably be going up for sale. Like I said, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday, because I'd like to get a couple more made. Alrighty, so last week I got a text message from Cheryl, one half of Stitching with the Sisterlies. She and Anna and I all live fairly close to each other. Anna and Cheryl actually live quite close to each other. I'm about an hour's drive away from them. And Cheryl sent me a message, I think it was last Tuesday, and she said, "What are your days off again? Monday and what?" And I said, "Thursday." And she goes, "Do you want to get together and stitch?" "Yes, please." It's nice knowing local ladies and being able to go up and have a stitchy day. And it was a blast. So much laughter. I enjoy both of those ladies so much. I had taken my Mill Hill kit with me. That's what I was working on. I know Anna has been wanting to start a Mill Hill. I don't think she's stitched one before. And so I took it because I wanted to show her that they're just like any other cross stitch, except you're stitching on perforated paper. Now, you don't have to hold them in hand. You can buy frames, wood frames, that will hold that 6 by 6 inch square of perforated paper. I have one somewhere. I don't use it. It's the only time that I stitch in hand. And there are times that I find it really awkward to stitch on, because especially when you're stitching down close to the edge, the floss sometimes catches on the edge that's cut because it cuts through the perforations. But I do it. And it's an easy piece to work on because perforated paper is basically the same size as 24 count linen or 14 count Aida. So that's what I had up there while I was working on it. Anna was asking me about beading because she's doing one of her prairie schooler Santas, and she decided that she wanted to try to put some beads on it. It's the Santa with the Christmas lights all wrapped around him. I don't know what year it is because I don't do them. Anyway, I have all my Mill Hill beads that I have kept from all of my Mill Hills that I have done over the past several years. And the next time I see her, I will take them up with me and let her pick out what colors she wants to use and help her, if she needs to, figure out how to put beads on fabric. Anybody who's done a mirror knows it's really easy to put beads on fabric. But you know, just like anything, sometimes you're a little hesitant to try it, and then once you do, you realize it's easy. It's what I keep telling them, it's easy. Yeah. Anyway, Up at Cheryl's house, I was working on my Mill Hill, and she got her husband, Ed, to come out and take a picture of the three of us sitting at the table stitching. He used Anna's cell phone, and of course, she posted this picture, and I stole it. So I am going to include that at the end, the three of us sitting around Cheryl's dining room table stitching, because I think it's just a great photo. I printed a copy of it with my little Canon Ivy printer. This is what Mark got for me for Christmas because I really wanted to have one of these. And I've been having fun with that, and I can add those photos in with my journaling. So let's switch over to journaling. There's still more cross stitch to come, but we're going to switch over to journaling. I've been watching all these different people, and it's funny because when you watch somebody, others like them will pop up in your YouTube feed. I've mentioned this lady before many, many times. Her name is Natasha. She has treasure books on YouTube. And I remembered watching a video that she had done about making faux rice paper. Not too long ago, somebody else popped up and they were showing how they were doing it, but they used several different things as the base for their faux rice paper. And I thought, I've been wanting to play with this, and I've been saving stuff for it, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. So the whole idea of making faux rice paper is you have to have something that you can lay your project on, because the base coat of your project is glue. I use the liner from a cereal bag. Spread out my glue, lay my base paper, cover it with glue. In this case, I added some dried tea, some dried rose petals from one of my roses out in the yard, and orts, because I wanted to have those strings running through the paper. And then my base paper on this one was the tissue from a sewing pattern. I laid a second layer of tissue from a sewing pattern on top of the tea and the rose petals and the orts, and then I laid more glue down on top of that, and this is what I got. Now, I've got this fairly close to the screen, so if you look up, you can see there is a little bit of translucence to it. You can see the threads in there. You can see the rose petals. If you get really close, you can see the tea. You can also see if I can get that on the screen. The writing from the pattern. So I posted a picture of this on Instagram, and I posted a picture of it on my Facebook. And a friend of mine asked me, is it pliable? Yes, it is. And then it unfolds, and you can do whatever you want with it. I am absolutely amazed. This is glue and paper with stuff sprinkled on it, and more glue and paper. This one I think would be big enough to use as a page inside of a journal. I think it's gorgeous, and being that it's glue, it should be fairly easy to glue other things onto. Well, then I was watching that other lady, and she had used a variety of things. Now, Natasha had two. She tears apart 3-ply napkins and uses a ply of the tissue there. I did that, and then I tore it in half because my cereal bag wasn't big enough for me to do a whole napkin. And I did this one. Now this time I did the same thing. I put the dried tea in there. I've got the orts in there. But I also took one of my oxide inks and I sprayed it on there when it was still a little bit wet. And it gives it this rusty, crusty, I don't know. I think it's just, I'm fascinated by it. Plain and simple, I am fascinated by the fact that this is paper and glue with stuff sprinkled on top of it. The back side that was on the cereal bag is smooth. The front side, because of the things that I've put in there, is very textured. This one, I think I'm going to fold it up, sew around it, and make an envelope out of it. Wouldn't it be fun to receive something like this in the mail, full of goodies? Happy mail? I mean, come on. I am fascinated by this. Mark thinks I'm nuts. We've been married almost 40 years. He's thought I'm nuts for a long time. But talking of Happy Mail, I got a package from Vikki StitchNButton, and she knows that I am into paper crafting. So she sent me this box full of goodies. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not. Nope, that doesn't work. It's a little clear disc that has a sun etched into it. Very cute. There is a handful of these. These are vellum postage stamps. I've already used a couple of them, Vikki. She sent me a little witch hat pincushion that she made with a spider charm. She said she made that a while back. She finally sent it on to me. She sent me some little leaf cutouts with needles in them that can be used in needle books. There's white ones and green ones. And, oops, dropped a needle. Oh, there it is. Okay, as long as it's not on the floor, we're good. Then there are some little metal labels. Some metal embellishments. I'm wondering if these could work on the top of a strawberry. And then there's some smaller ones in here. And some butterflies. So those will be fun to figure out what to do with. She sent me, I think these have to be made out of some sort of tree bark. They're little birds. But they're very cool. But yes, I think they have to be out of some sort of tree bark. There's still some candy left. I haven't eaten it all. She sent me some more embellishments, metal embellishments. Again, I'm wondering if I can use these on the top of strawberries. There'll be something to play with. And then she said her uncle makes these Blue Cupboard Primitives, LLC, makers of primitive labels. So things like this, or juniper berries, horseradish root, ginger root. Anyway, there's a whole stack of them here. There was also a card in there that has already made its way into my journal. So thank you very much, Vikki. I am having fun with these. And there's more candy. I don't need it, but you know, there's more candy. Last piece, more cross stitch. I have been working on my Erica Michaels Bristol Berries 2. I stitched this one already. I am working on this one. If you remember, this is the one that I did in the red, Poison Apple. This is the one that I am doing in the Silks for You, PR168. And that is where I am with this. When I started this, I started it up at Cheryl's house, our Christmas gathering, I think it was. And I did all of this, and then I came down and I started doing this part here. I am having the most difficult time with this band here. I stitch it, I unpick it. I stitch it, I unpick it. I stitch it again, and I unpick it again. So I got tired of this row and I came up here and I started working on the four-sided stitches. And then I went down and I stitched this part here and I unpicked it. It is now correct again. So I got tired with that. I came up, I finished some more here, and I did this piece here, which is the top, center top of the berry. So this is coming along quite nicely. I will stitch the third one. I have decided I'm just going to use a DMC green, and I'm thinking it's going to be either the 700, 701, 702, 703, that color range. I'm just going to lay it out with them. I am using the PR, Silks for You PR 168 to stitch this piece, and I have a lot of this. So why don't I offer some up for a giveaway? I have another half hank here. This is gorgeous. It's a lot of floss. But like I said, I have what's in the bag, which is more than enough for me to finish my berry, plus a whole other hank of it. So what the heck? I'm doing a giveaway. I'm starting this one out. So this is Silks for You, PR 168. What I would like you to do is, in your comments, tell me what kind of silks you've used. Make sure you use the word silks, S-I-L-K-S, in your statement. If you haven't used them, tell me why you haven't used them. Start a conversation about silks. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. Live long and stitch on, my friends. Don't forget to breathe. Bye-bye.